Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve. And, I probably don't need to tell any of you, but we keep getting more and more new studies showing that the COVID vaccines simply weren't all they were cracked up to be, shall we say. And obviously, this comes as no surprise to members of this audience, but some people still insist on trusting in Big Pharma and the Big Pharma system that produced such a scam. And the problem with that, of course, is that such a reliance, particularly when it comes to our health, in the end, it just enriches Big Pharma shareholders and corporate overlords, but does nothing to get to the root causes of our health issues here in America. I'm joined today by Russ Jagger, who's an expert body health and life transformation coach, and he's spent decades fighting against Big Pharma to help make Americans more fit, more productive, and more successful in all their ventures in life. So, Russ, welcome. It's great to have you here. I've been looking forward to this for some. We were talking beforehand. I told you I finally dropped 60 pounds, so I'm excited to chat with you and talk more about health issues with you.
I'm excited to be here, Dr. Steve. Appreciate you, brother. And yeah, you're looking great, man.
Oh, right. Well, right back at you, man. So, I mean, obviously, tens of millions of people were shocked at what they saw over the last couple of years. The pretty radical discrepancy between the rhetoric of what vaxxers were supposed to do and the reality of what they did. And of course, all his big pharma companies made an absolute killing financially. In your opinion, you're a health expert. In your opinion, if you could summarize it for us, what's the biggest takeaway from all of that in terms of the biggest thing Big Pharma isn't telling us or never told us?
The biggest thing is that their interests are not your health. I mean, it's just flat out. It's all about the money.
Right.
And now, as you said, like the truth is coming out. I
Right.
remember, I do online coaching. So, I had the benefit of, a lot of my clients train at home. So we were cool, but I also have some personal training studios in Atlanta. And what were the first things they shut down? Churches and
Right.
gyms.
Right.
And I
Right.
remember talking. I fought against mine. I'm in Atlanta, so it was better here. I have some buddies up in the Northeast, and I know it was more brutal. But literally, I was pleading. I was like, guys, like I know when you're healthy, when you're fit, and now it's been shown obesity. People who are obese and who didn't have the muscle mass, or the people who had all the issues and died, of
Yeah.
COVID.
Right.
And I was like, guys, like health is the answer. Preventative health, taking care of your body. And I remember, one of the council ladies, she said, I agree, health is the answer. You guys are shut down. And we were technically shut down, but I was like, I'm not somebody who just goes along with something just because, they tell me to. So we had clients that came in and trained. People called the police on us. Officers came up. What
Wow.
are you guys doing? We're exercising and practicing safe social distancing. Thank you,
Wow.
officer. And they'd leave. So yeah, man, it's insane, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And gang, by the way, Russ has an amazing free training coming up that you can register for by clicking on the link below. We'll get more into it as we go along here, but you can get a sneak peek if you want by clicking on that link. Russ, I wanted to ask you actually, because this is something that comes a lot in conversation. In your view, what is true health, right? I mean, you obviously think of health far more holistically than most. You're thinking physically, relationally, financially. But in your view, what is health? What does it mean to be healthy?
Yeah, I think it's different for each person. I think to me it's having it all. I grew up the chubby kid. This is why I do what I do. I sometimes I can't remember what I did 5 minutes ago, but I remember being, 10 years old, maybe I was 11. Dad has, VHS camera. You guys are old enough to remember that before we had the cell phones. And he's like,
Right, of course.
Russ, introduce yourself. And I was a shy kid, believe it or not. I'm like, my name's Russ. I like soccer. I like basketball. Love my dog, Rudy. And then I looked down and I said, I'm fat. Both my parents look at each other, awkward silence, don't know what to say. Finally, my mom breaks the silence. She's like, Russ, you're not fat. You're just husky. And she said that, Steve, because I had to get the husky pants going back to school. I freaking hated that word. And so for me at that point, like that was my trigger, man. I'm going to be, we didn't have internet back then. I'm going to be one of those fit guys with muscles like I saw in the magazines. It's all about the abs. And for a long time for me, it was all about looking good. And I still, I'm almost 50 years old. I still have abs. Looking good's cool. But, I have 3 young kids. I want to be around a long time, not just be around. I want to be able to walk my daughter down the aisle, dance with her. I want to be able to have energy, passion, for my wife. I have 3 growing businesses. I want to be there for my clients, for my employees, and I actually want to enjoy, I want to create financial legacy and make an impact in the world. And so for me, it's the physical is important, how you look, how you feel, how you perform, but also that mental and emotional health, because there are people that look great. And a lot of people go to the gym, Steve, because they have some kind of, childhood trauma. Mine wasn't really trauma. It was perceived trauma though, right? I didn't like being called husky. And they're trying to, fight some kind of demon or trauma. And so, have people that will look great, but they're not really healthy, or, they look great, but they've got so much stress, and stress is one of the biggest, killers that we have. So for me, man, it's, number one, having a healthy relationship with God, number 2, healthy relationship with me. And I don't put myself, only reason I put myself above, in between God and my wife is because if I'm not all I can be physically, mentally, emotionally, I can't provide for her and for my kids and everyone else. So I think it's, having it all, dude, putting your health first. And then that allows you, to thrive in every other area of life. And, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about on the training that you mentioned.
Yeah, I love it, because so often we, I think, define health in negative terms, like the absence of disease, and we don't define it positively. It's an actual state of being, this balance. I mean, that's the way the ancients, the Hippocratic corpus, the ancient Greek medical theory, they would talk about the importance of exercise, diet. They would even talk about, Pythagoras would talk about the importance of right kinds of music at certain times of the day. It's creating this harmony within the body, and then around in accordance with one's surroundings. And that harmony wasn't just, physical and ecological. It was social, it was political, it was economic, it was cultural, it was the just entire holistic human experience. And then, of course, all particularly the Christian faith, in the end, is the promise of the resurrected body in perfect and perpetual health. This is, I mean, it's profound stuff. And again, before I dropped the pounds, I never even thought about it. And then I realized, boy, that's a real lacuna in my life that I needed to address.
Yeah, 100%. The homeostasis, the balance. And,
Yeah.
and I, my belief is that every single human being, was put on earth for a purpose. I have massive respect for you. A lot of people, I say, tell me I'm inspirational, which I'm grateful for. And like, who inspires you? Like, I'm inspired by anybody who has a passion and who is making a big difference in the world. And that's one of the reasons, Dr. Steve, I have such respect for you, man, is you're not only smart, super smart, but you're passionate about what you do, man. And you're making a big impact. You're using your God-given gifts. I work with a lot of, business owners, executives, right. And I tell them, like, you have goals for your business. You want to make a big impact. Like, you're never going to reach your full potential if your engine, your body, your health is not in full capacity. We got to take care of that first.
Energy. Yeah. The whole issue of energy and energy depletion is huge. Well, with that in mind, so what types of exercise are the most effective and efficient for people to achieve their goals? I mean, somebody is out there saying, you're right, I got to start moving my body again. I've heard it put, emotion changes with motion. If you start moving your body, your emotion can change as well. What would you suggest for people in terms of exercise and the like?
Yeah, I love that. Emotion creates emotion. The way I like to say that is, a lot of people are like, I just don't feel like it. Like, don't wait to get motivated to move to get motivated.
Move to get motivated. Yes.
Force yourself. And I always say the 2 types of exercise, the best types of exercise is, number 1, something you enjoy, so that you'll actually do it. Yes, right. Exercise can be fun. It doesn't have to be torture. And then 100% some type of strength training or resistance training.
Right.
And people are starting to finally get this, that the strength training is the only thing that's going to make you strong, give you the, the muscles and the tone and the strength and all that, good for your, your ligaments, your joints, your bones, not just your muscles, but also every pound of lean muscle you build burns an extra 20 to 40 calories per day. So wow. It is your best fat burning exercise. A lot of people are focused on losing weight, but I help them realize, like, build your muscle, And that's what's going to help you burn fat long term. And then also from a health standpoint, like more and more studies are coming out on the benefit, the health and longevity benefit of strength training. The two main indicators of your longevity are VO2 max, cardiovascular health, which is not a surprise, and muscle mass and strength. So if you want to look good, like lose fat, gain lean muscle, like strength training is what's going to make you, as I say, look great naked. But for your health and longevity, like the strength training. And if I had to pick, strength training versus cardio, if I had to get rid of one, it would be like strength training all day long.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading too. It's because you're also getting the cardio in the strength training as well, right? It's almost like you're getting the best bang for the buck.
Exactly. A lot of
Yeah.
people think for cardio, I got to walk on the treadmill, I got to do, swimming. Like if you're lifting weights intensely, you're getting the cardio. You're 100% right, Dr. Steve.
Right. Now I've read you talk about how people can lose weight but without giving up their favorite foods like pizza and ice cream and the like. You got to. What's the secret there? Is that really the case?
It's really the case. A lot of people, they don't believe me. Like I eat pizza, ice cream, cheeseburgers on a regular basis, tacos, whatever. And here's the deal. And the backstory is important. I told you, I grew up the chubby kid, husky kid. I love to eat. I struggle with overeating my whole life. I'm totally transparent about that. I'm not one of those fitness guys that, loves, eating all clean food and it's easy for. Like I've won pizza eating contests. I could literally be, 300-400 pounds. And I've had to work with that. So when I started trying to get in shape on my own after that whole husky pants experience, I had some okay success, never really got where I wanted to go. I never got the abs. And I got into the workforce, got my undergrad master's in accounting, working as a CPA for one of the big firms, as a big six at the time. And I started getting back, I was working out, but started, late night business dinners, drinking and partying with my friends. And finally at 27, I said, man, you never did what 11-year-old Russ said you're going to do. So I made a decision, a commitment. I hired a coach. I entered an international physique transformation contest. And I went all in. I went from like 25% body fat, not like huge, but definitely soft, to like 5% body fat, totally shredded, won the contest. People that work in the gym were like, what happened to you? Can you help me? This is literally how I said, I knew this is what God put me on earth to do. I quit my job as an accountant, started as a fitness coach, 22 years ago. And I was trained by one of the top natural bodybuilders in the world, Dr. Steve. And, so I was taught chicken and broccoli, 2 hours later, protein shake, 2 hours later, chicken and broccoli, and I work out 2 hours of weights in the morning, hour of cardio at night. So I lived that way a long time. And I trained my clients like that. And guess what? In 3 months, they looked incredible. Almost all of them went back because that's not a realistic or sustainable way.
Yeah.
And I did the whole eat only clean. And technically it's probably healthier to not eat, the donuts, and I left donuts out. It's my favorite, pizza stuff.
Yeah.
But, the number one success of, what's the successful eating plan is adherence. And I don't know too many people that are never going to eat a piece of pizza, carbohydrate, a donut again for the rest of their life. So what I said is, for me, it's more important to, to be healthy, be fit, have a normal life where my life doesn't have to revolve around food. I can't do social things with my family and friends. I want to be able to eat normal foods, and I want to be healthy. And I still want to be able to have abs. So the last, 8-10 years since I started having kids, especially, I'm like, can you have it all? And the answer is yes, when you have the right strategy, right plan, and right consistency. So while I'm eating those things, I'm doing it in a very, systematic, structured way. So yes, it is true, and it can be done.
So you have the free training that you're going to walk people through some of these strategies. Can you give us this is November 1st, 3 p.m. Eastern. All you have to do, gang, is just click on the link below to register. Russ is amazing. You're going to love it. Can you just give us a little bit of an aerial view of what to expect when we click on that link below and sign up for that November 1st free training with you?
Yeah, definitely. So we've only had a short time today. I'm trying to, give some good value here, but I'll have a full hour, 60 minutes to really go through, again, exactly what I went through. Just emphasizing it. I'm a normal dude. I don't have great genetics. I love to eat. And I won that contest I'll share how I won that contest, which I'm proud of 22 years ago, but I'm way more proud that I've stayed in shape for the last 22 years. And so that's what I'm going to share. Okay. What's a realistic, first of all, getting in the right mindset and making that connection. So one of the biggest things people say is, I'm too busy to do it. So I help them make that connection. Like I find out what their why is. What's their passion? What's their purpose? let's take care of this engine that God's given you first so that you can go be your best in this purpose and reach your full potential and live a life you love. Then figuring out what's a realistic plan consisting of that strength training, some kind of exercise that you actually enjoy. I'm lucky enough that the strength training is what I enjoy. Again, finding an eating plan that helps people, lose fat, gain muscle, have energy, but most importantly, that is sustainable. Because if it's not sustainable, you're always going back. Figuring out, how you customize that into your own life, making sure you're flexible, mobile, and then also working on this guy, your mind and your internal beliefs. Because until those, and again, a lot of us have these things from childhood. For me, it was the chubby kid, husky pants incidents. Until you change what's going on internally and transform that, which we have a whole process, I do with my clients called breakthrough. Then even if you change everything externally, you're going to end up, consciously or subconsciously sabotaging yourself and go it back. So I'm going to basically give my exact blueprint, of what I did for myself and how I've helped thousands of, men and women all over the world, different ages. A lot of my clients, though, are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, some in their 70s. A lot of people think it's too old. I'm too old, right? My metabolism's too slow. No, like I promised. The best time to start was, 20 years ago. Next best time is now. And
That's
people
right.
in their 50s, 60s, 70s that have never even thought about health or fitness or working out that are completely, changing their lives and feeling better than they did, in their 20s and 30s. So I'm gonna dive into that deep.
And I love how you talk about the mindset. I know that was huge for me, is what continues to be. And it's very much, and I'm the way you refer to it as husky pants. It's very much an identity, isn't it? It's not just, it's not theoretical. It's not world. I mean, it is. It has all that, but in the end, it really is. It's your own self-image staring right back at you that you do have to work on and think about and reflect on intentionally.
100%. And, and it's not just, and the cool thing is we've got these limiting beliefs. We all have them. But once you get rid of those and replace them, and once you, again, not necessarily wait till you're motivated, but you create that plan, create that discipline, and then you're actually following through on the promises you made yourself, you start to believe that you deserve things. And the only thing I'm going to talk about in the training is what I call magnetic attractiveness, when you've got that physical, mental, emotional health, that confidence, and things just start happening, where things come into your life that, you're not even having to try. And that's a pretty cool phenomenon.
It is. And you again, you define health holistically. You work with a lot of entrepreneurs and super successful people out there in terms of success strategies and the like as well. I'm assuming it's very much the same approach.
100%. 100% is all of it goes together. Again, we all have a lot. There's the basic categories, right? You've got, your family, you've got your finances, you've got your business, you've got your spirituality, your relationship with God, you've got your health. My whole thing is, a lot of people, see me as the they call me the fit dad with abs at 50, and that's cool. Like the abs, I like having the abs, but now it's more like just kind of, I don't know, I use it as a measuring stick.
Yeah, right. It's a gimmick, kind of. Right. Like
gimmick.
Dr.
It's
Steve.
a gimmick to bring
Yeah.
people in. And I'm
Yeah.
like, look, I had a guy who he's like came to me for coaching, business and life coaching, and he's like, dude, I just like attracted you. I did a talk, and he's like, I want you. You're my guy.
Yeah.
And I said, I asked him his goals. So his business goals, family goals,
Right.
he's having some mental, challenges. I was like, brother, before we'll work on all that, but we got to get your body right first.
Yeah.
We got to get that first. So getting that body and health right, it solves a lot of problems. And then you can, go work on everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. You heard it, gang. This is health in its most holistic sense. It's actually a very classical conception of health: spiritual health, relational health, physical health. I mean, this is financial health. This is how you do it. And Russ is going to begin the journey for you. 3:00 Eastern time, November 1st. Click on the link below, sign up, register. Russ will get into even more secrets to help you leave big pharma in the dust. Look how you want to look, all while eating your favorite foods. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. I got to tell you, my own weight loss journey has been a life changer. It's huge. I've shared that with all of you a number of times, of how now in my early 50s, I'm starting to really rethink a lot of things. And one of them was health and physical um, uh, my physical condition, and I cannot think of something more worthy of your time to invest in. And Russ is the guy who can do it. So just click on that link below and register for Russ's free training November 1st, 3 p.m. Eastern, and start your journey today. Russ Jagger, thank you so much for being on the channel, and we're going to have you back real soon. You're amazing.
Thank you so much, Dr. Steve. Appreciate you, brother.
Right back at you.